It only looks like they're winning. They won the battle, but they lost the war. Hello, light warriors, beautiful beings of light. It's Bella Bashan here. The Holy Spirit placed this scenario in my spirit so heavily, how for someone out there, you've come against, or somebody has come against you, and maybe they slandered your name. They actively tried to bring you down in some way. And for whatever reason, it looks like they're winning. It looks like they're prevailing. You're asking God, like, God, how can you allow this person to have this success? How can you allow this person to win when they've slandered my name, when they've come against me, when they've tried to wreck everything that I've worked on? They haven't been integral in their spirit. And the Holy Spirit wants somebody to know that it only looks like they're winning. The way that the Holy Spirit allowed me to see this is actually, for those of you who have been watching my videos lately, I was sharing with you how I was really into that show Top Chef recently, and I was getting caught up on some past seasons that I haven't watched recently. But in the most recent seasons, well, first, the most recent season that I watched was an international season, and one of the guys won. And then in the next season after that, I didn't realize it, but he was in the next season after that. He was chosen from the most recent season to participate in the international season. So I was excited to see that because his cooking was just, it was really so beautiful. It looked like art on a plate. He did like all these flowers and butterfly twills and all these beautiful things, but his food was some of the most, it really looked like a painting. So I was excited to see in the most recent season how he handled the competition, like just what exactly he did to win that. And as I was watching the season where he won to go to the international season, what I noticed is that it really did not seem like he was going to win that season until really the very end. Because if you guys have seen the Top Chef before, they have these little challenges and cook-offs, and he pretty much never really won any of those. And he got a lot of critiquing from the judges. And so I was just, the Holy Spirit was showing me how it really did not look like he was winning, but ultimately he won the whole battle. He lost those little wars, but ultimately he won the whole battle. And if I was in that competition and I kept losing those little battles, I might think to myself, man, am I even gonna make it to the top? Am I gonna go all the way? And so he didn't let those little losses prevent him from continuing to compete at his finest. And he ultimately won the whole season and made it to the international season, even though he really did not win a lot of those little competitions. And so that is how the Holy Spirit showed me. And then I came across this story in the Bible that goes with this so well, is that of Moses in the Bible, where it initially appears the opponent is winning but ultimately loses. In Exodus, Moses is chosen by God to lead the Israelites out of slavery and into the promised land. Moses approaches Pharaoh asking him to let the Israelites go, but Pharaoh stubbornly refuses, and as a result, God sends 10 plagues upon the Egyptians to demonstrate his power and persuade Pharaoh to let the Israelites go. During the plagues, it initially seems like Pharaoh's magicians are able to replicate some of the miracles performed by Moses and Aaron. However, as the plagues progress, the magicians concede defeat and acknowledge the supremacy of God's power. So it really looked like some of the magicians could do what Moses was doing, and some of the supernatural things that God was working through Moses to perform. But the magicians ultimately could not outperform Moses. And in the final and most devastating plague, the death of the firstborn, Pharaoh's own son dies along with the firstborn of all the Egyptians. This event leads to Pharaoh finally agreeing to release the Israelites. However, as they flee, Pharaoh changes his mind and pursues them with his army, trapping the Israelites against the Red Sea. At this point, it seems like the Egyptians have the upper hand, but God miraculously intervenes and parts the Red Sea so the Israelites can cross onto dry ground. However, as the Egyptians pursue, the waters rush back and boom, all the pharaohs don't make it across, and they are no longer looking like they are winning. So this is going to be a confirmation to somebody who feels like somebody who really tried to tear them down, come against them, somebody who is cruel and malicious with evil intent, somebody again who could have been using something within them that wasn't of God to get the upper hand or to appear to be godlike. But in the end, God's supremacy wins all.